Glasgow has opened plans to be the first UK town to bring its hothouse emissions to net zero. The town wants to achieve the goal up 2045, beaten the Scotland-wide vanity announced by the government over the monthly. The plans involve massive charge points for electrical vehicles. Net zero is the spot wherever the identical amount of hothouse gases is released as is engrossed via compensation techniques love forest management. Glasgow Town Justice and Scotch Force say they will job on a band of programs to assist the town achieve the goal. They expect the ad will flame the start gun on a racing to null in some cities love Edinburgh. The go came following Nicola Beluga proclaimed a environment disaster at the SNP side meeting recent monthly. 1 week after the government told it would make laws to bring hothouse emissions to net zero by 2045. Scotch Force told Revolving Power had to quad and power general necessary to dual up Scotland could encounter the goal. The regulation carbon sequestration inert and net zero are frequently utilized alternately, but down there are differences. Carbon sequestration dioxide, Company 2, is the largest plentiful hothouse gas, but down there are other that the government counts, and they are not all carbon sequestration based. Thus, several environment changing campaigners choose the period net zero as it includes not fair CO2 and methane, but as well nitrogen monoxide, that is released for agriculture and industry activities as of fossil embers. Just carbon sequestration inert would not halt world heating, since some gases are as well detrimental to the ambience. Maybe and though superior period would be environment inert. Glasgow was the position of Scotland's first low radiation area, LEZ, that intends to stage out the obscene buses of the town centre above 5 year. The UK's greatest coastal breeze farmer, Whiteley, that is belonging by Scotch Force, is on the suburb of the town. The attention is now anticipated to rotate some components of the town's economics how can be decarbonised, such as transportation and heater. Amongst the issues they are anticipated to gear is how of electrical car charge. Rather than 70% of the town's residents residing in flats are incapable to accusation electrical cars as they include no away street parking lot. Scotch Force says it is planner a charge framework wherever human beings can quickly accusation their vehicles off of household, at job or at social charge locations. Sites for these locations are evaluated, and the schema could be a pattern for some UK cities cladding such problems. Scotch Force head execution Keith Anderson says Scotland was ordered to put by itself at the front line of the racing to be net zero. It is our expect how the proclamation boot starts a racing to null in some aspiring cities, love Edinburgh, since later we will all be winners. He will speak the all-power meeting in Glasgow after. This award is the next of our nation and our earth. But he will say how the goal will not be met if we invent ways to unit new revolving power. Coastal breeze in special has incurred as a impact, and the period has go for a basic reconsider. We've been capable to offset to several degree by race front in big offshore breeze projects, but quadrupling power can't trust on setting all our eggs in one revolving cart. We've told really obviously we will aim to put £6 trillion in revolving power by 2022. The facilitating it is to do the quicker we all get to net zero. All of the power Scotch Force generates for its customers comes of almost 40 coastal and offshore breeze agriculture through the UK. Glasgow Town Justice lead Susan Aitken told, "We just include to act now, and the Glasgow Town by the government will evolve those partnerships required to get to wherever we just include to be. We requirement to be a net zero town. And we requirement to be the UK's first net zero town." The ad was welcomed by First Secretary Nicola Beluga. Presence ad among Scotch Force and Glasgow Town Justice, to do Glasgow the UK's first net null town, is a really great move. Achieving our goals will requirement precisely the type of association attitude, by the government, industry, regional authorities and countrymen all game their portion.